The name of this sermon is Thanksliving. Thanksliving. Now, the first version of this sermon that I preached was about in 1996. It was at Pittman Park United Methodist Church. Now, some of you are saying, I thought you said you were Southern Baptist. I was. Pittman Park was my halfway house, so to speak. And one reason I wanted to go there was because they would actually let me preach, which the Baptists wouldn't let me do. But I went into their lay ministry program, and I did all the things to prepare and became a lay minister at Pittman Park. Now, at Pittman Park, if you were a lay minister, they would let you preach at night. Not in the day, not the big service, but at nighttime you might get to preach. So it so happened that I was able to preach a sermon on the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. And I thought I'd come up with something unique. This term came to me of Thanksliving. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. I had this insight that we not only give our thanks, but we live our thanks. And at the time I was working at Georgia Southern, I was department chair, and one of my department members, who was kind of one of the older guys there, some of you may know him, Donald Hawk. You remember, anybody know Donald Hawk? No, a few people, okay. Well, Dr. Hawk says to me, I'll tell him about this sermon I'm going to do. He said, "Oh, Jane, that's nothing new. It's been done and done and done." I said, well, maybe so. And maybe you've heard a Thanksgiving sermon before yourselves, and some of you have. But you hadn't heard this one. That's right. So stay awake, and I'm going to share with you my Thanksgiving sermon. Now, actually, the one I have prepared for you is very different from the one I shared all those years ago, because times have changed, I've evolved. I'm thankful for different kinds of things and different people, things happen, life changes. So the only thing left is the concept that we must live our thanks, not just give it. And also my introduction is still here. Now at Pittman Park at night, that's when the youth group came, because they would have their youth meeting and then they would all be required then to go to church. So I knew there'd be a big youth group there. And young folks, I wanted to show them that I was hip. I was trying to, be cool. I was trying to be cool. So I thought, I'm going to wrap my introduction. And I saved that for you all. So I'm going to attempt it again many years later. We need an attitude of gratitude. We need to walk our talk and walk love's walk. We need to stop the messing and start the blessing. We need more than Thanksgiving. We need Thanksliving. I'll say amen. Y'all say it again. I've lost a little of my rapping ability since then. But that's my attempt. That's my attempt. So this is the time of year we make our lists. Now that we have social media, some people have these 30 days of gratitude and other kinds of things where people talk about what they're thankful for or make a list. This is not my list. It's one that I happen to find on the interweb, of something that some folks were thankful for. But I have made lists as well of things that I'm thankful for. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do right now. So take out your paper and pencil. Oh, okay, I didn't provide that. So here's what you do. You take your hand, and that's your paper, okay? You got your hand. And now here's your pencil right here. And you write down 2 or 3 things. Write them down. You can do this. 2 or 3 things on your hand that you're thankful for. Go ahead and do that. Write a couple of things you're thankful for. Okay. After you finish that, fold your paper. We'll take them back out later. Look at them later. This is a quote from John Kennedy that is nice, I think. It says, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest aspiration is not to utter words, but to live by them. Live by them." It's easy to say thanks, thanks, thanks. But do you live your thanks? Do you live your thanks? Do you show it? Do you act it? And I have to admit that I'm not always very good at that sometimes. I'm pretty good at making the list and even maybe telling somebody thank you. I'm halfway decent with that. Not as good as I should do, perhaps. I did thank Janice this morning for that great pie she made, didn't I, Janice? So I sometimes I manage to utter those words. But I don't always live my thanks very well. And so this sermon is one of these sermons where I'm preaching to myself, and I'm letting you all listen in on it. And if you get something out of it, that's good. If not, I will preach myself a sermon. But I hope maybe you will get something out of it yourself. I'm going to use myself as the object lesson, as the example. But you have things that you can think about as well. And some of these may be on your list. You may have some of the same things on your list. So I'm going to share with you some of the things on my list and then explore a little bit about how I'm living my thanks, if I am, or how I need to do better about that. So I'll share with you that the first thing on my list that I am very thankful for is my health. I am actually a pretty healthy woman. I'm 66 years old and I'm pretty healthy, you know. I've got some allergies. That's why I keep the tissue box up here sometimes. I've got some allergies. I have some high cholesterol, but I'm a pretty healthy woman. And I don't take that for granted. I know it and I appreciate it, and I am very, very thankful. Now, how do I live my thanks for my health? What I should be doing is making sure I stay healthy, and if there are problems, correcting them. That would be how I would live my thanks, you know, to take what health I have and do what I should. Well, I'll go ahead and just be embarrassed about this a little bit and tell you all that I'm a little bit ashamed of myself lately with my health. I was doing pretty good, and then a while back I hurt my back. You remember when I had to preach so I hurt my back, and then I found out that I have, you know, these degenerating discs, you know, and arthritis in my back, and the discs are like, you know, they're getting old, you know, that kind of thing. And that I shouldn't run anymore and pound them, you know. And I've been running, you know, and I like to run. And I felt so good. Oh, my knees are good, you know, I can run. I was kind of bragged to Greg about my good knees, you know. But my back, I couldn't run. I even found out that I couldn't dance hard when I did that hard dancing at one of those dances that we had, and then I pounded it and messed it up again. I have to just sway now, you know, dance hard. So instead of doing the things that I could do, you know, I couldn't do the things I'd done. Instead of doing the things I could do, I did nothing. And then I felt sorry for myself because I couldn't do the things I'd been doing before. And you know what you do when you feel sorry for yourself? You eat. So it took me 2 years to take that weight off so I would feel better, and it took me 2 months to put it back on. So, now, you know, I'm still a fairly healthy person, but I can do better now if I just will. If I will focus on what can I do. It's like that Forest Church thing, the mantra that I shared a few weeks ago, want what you have, do what you can, be who you are, right? So there are a lot of things I can do. And I need to get with it and do it. And I am going to. So I'm going to make that commitment to you all here today. I'm going to be thankful for my health that I do have, and I'm going to live it by trying to do the best I can with it, and yet accepting there are things I cannot do. Okay, but I can do a lot of things, you know, and be grateful for that and do the things I can do to keep up my health. Another thing that I'm very thankful for is my family. Now, I am very blessed. I realize this, you know, that I indeed have huge blessings. I'm not going to show you all my family, but of course this is one of my favorite pictures taken last August after my great-granddaughter was born. And my mom is there. I don't know if you can see her, Christine. She's 90 years old. 90 years old. So the 5 generations are there. My great-granddaughter and her dad, J.D., and his dad, Fred, and me and my mom. And I have other family members as well. I have a brother. I have 2 middle-aged sons. I have my 13 and 19-year-old grandsons, and then, of course, this new great-granddaughter, Elena. I have my fabulous husband, Greg, and his 2 children. And then I have a mixture of in-laws and ex-laws that I still am family with. And then our precious dog, Wendy. Wendy is part of our family as well. So I am very grateful to have these family members. And I give my thanks for them. But then again, I ask the question, do I live my thanks? Do I live my thanks? And I think I do to a good degree. I think I'm a pretty good daughter and wife. I mean, I cooked a meal recently. It's pretty good for me. But there's a lot more I can do. When my grandmother was getting old, my grandmother Alton, she was, actually she died before she was my age, but she was old, that was back then, and you get in your 60s, some folks were old then, But as she was getting older, my dad went to see her every day because he worked in town and he could drop by on his way home or during his lunch hour. He went to see my grandmama every day, stopped by to check on her. My mama lives right across the street, and I go see her every day, What's with that? It means a lot to somebody that's older. She says there are days, when she sees no one, right? So I could do better. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do better with that. I'm going to see my mom more, drop in more, although we had to stay away from some topics, politics, But I can stop in and see my mama. And if I can't stop in and see her, I can telephone her because I am away some, but it doesn't take much to pick up the telephone and call my mama and check on her every day and have a little chat with her. I know some of you can't do that anymore, and I can. And so I'm like, I could do that. I could call and check on my mama. Then I got to thinking, it's easy to check on people, to have contact people. I could contact my sons and grandsons every day. We text. How's your day? Hope you have a good day. Love you, Just a little text. I could do that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm saying I'm going to try to do a better job of living my thanks by having more daily contact with my family. And I know that I am very blessed. I'm not saying this is something all of you should do. I have extended family members too. They don't want to hear from me every day. I might be the last person they want to hear from, right? So I'm not saying everybody should do this. If it would not bring joy to your family member to hear from you, then this is not something you should do, So it's an individual thing. Now, my brother, I'm not contacting him every day. My brother, that would not bring, he would think, what do you want now? Something broke. He doesn't want to hear from me every day. Just contact me if you need something, Jane. Don't be contacting me to say, how you doing? So no, I'm not going to contact my brother every day, You have to use some individual discretion about this. What would bring joy to these folks? And use that. So that's what I'm doing. And then, I know many of you have special family members. And these are family members. These fur babies are your family members. They're not with you long because they don't have the lifespan we have. And you have to know that when you adopt one of these lovely, wonderful creatures, you have to be prepared that you're going to probably lose them, unless you're going to outlive them more than likely. And then we have to say goodbye. And Wendy's 14 years old, so she's see all this white on her now. She's turning her not just gray-haired, but white-haired almost, and she's getting old. And we thought she was about near death, but she kind of had a second wind. Sometimes they'll do that, and she seems to be doing a little better now. But she's still not eating much of anything. She's getting very, very picky. And she's having a tougher time. She's having a harder time. She's old. So we're going to love Wendy. We are thankful for Wendy. But we are also going to live our thanks when she gets to that point where she's suffering a lot. And we will take her to the vet and say our goodbyes. Because we love Wendy and we do not want her to suffer a lot. We give our thanks for Wendy and we'll live our thanks for Wendy. Another thing on my list is my job. Maybe I should say jobs. I love my job. Wow, I am very grateful to have meaningful work. How blessed is that? And I'm thankful for you folks for allowing me to have it. To be able to have meaningful work is just amazing. Just amazing. And now I'm also having another church in Brunswick. And I am grateful for you folks for understanding my need and their needs and allowing that as well and being okay with that. Because I do have, I'm very, very fortunate to have meaningful work, and I love my work. Do I live it? Probably a little bit too much sometimes, because I never really take my hat off, I keep it on. But I probably don't live my thanks for my work in some ways that I need to do a little better with. And that basically, for me, instead of stepping up like I'm doing with my family, sometimes with my work I need to step back. And I don't have to be in the middle of everything, you know? I don't have to be in the middle of everything. Some of y'all might even tell me, Jane, this is not your table. You know, that's Meg Barnhouse says that she used to be a waitress, and she had certain tables assigned to her, and somebody would be waving their cup of coffee, you know, and she'd have to say, sweetie, that's not my table, you know. But she would go tell somebody that maybe that's their table. But that's not my table. Well, not every table is my table, and sometimes I just want to be in the middle of it. And so I need to live my thanks for my job by letting other people do their jobs and not try to get in the middle of it. And I'm going to do a better job of that as well. Another thing I'm thankful for, and I put this picture up, took it down, I couldn't decide, you know. Am I going to put this up there or not, you know? Because I'm pretty frustrated with some things, you know, I am. But I also realize the great privilege I have, tremendous privilege, of living in this country, with all that we have in this country and all the rights and privileges we have. I have tremendous privilege, and I look at that Statue of Liberty, and I love those words. I love those words. Now, that doesn't mean I love everything I see in our country, or everything that happens in our country, you know. In fact, for a while I had this up on my profile. I said, this is my America, you know, all people are equal. Love wins. Black lives matter. Immigrants and refugees are welcome. Celebrate diversity. Respect disability. Women control their own bodies. So this is my America. So my America I love, but I don't love everything that happens in America. Yet I am very thankful. I am very thankful. And I need to continue to find ways to live my thanks. And one of those ways is trying to understand and appreciate and love those that may disagree with me about some things related to our nation. And I'm working on that. I'm working on it as we all move. We're all Americans, and as we all move forward together. Hopefully we can all move forward together. That's my hope. And then the last thing I have that on my list is Unitarian Universalism. I have shared with you all before that this faith, this denomination, is almost like a savior to me. I don't know what would have happened with me if I had not found UU, because I need religious community. But none of the other stuff worked with me and was not going to work. But this faith that allows us to question, that allows us to change our views, that allows us to grow, that welcomes diversity, how grateful I am to have found it and for us to have a congregation here in this community that I can come to, and to realize that we do not need to think alike, to love alike, to lift that up and to know it's true. I am so very, very grateful. So I give thanks for Unitarian Universalism, and I give thanks for my congregation. How do I live my thanks? One thing I need to do for Unitarian Universalism is get involved with the broader community, with other ministers, with trying to see what we're doing across the way and reaching and working together, because we can do more together than we can individually. And that's one reason, to be honest with you, that I'm glad that we here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Statesboro select as one of our recipients for our Share of the Plate the UU Service Committee. Because this particular organization is one that what I end up doing, I give some to them every month. I call it, I'm prepaying for the crisis. That way, I know the things are coming. So I prepay for them all along. When I get the letter saying, oh, you know, Haiti was just hit, I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm paying for that, you know. I'm prepaying for the crisis because I know it's going to happen. And I know that I can trust these folks to try to do the best they can to reach out and be there. Many of our ministers are now preparing to go back. Some have did already, but many are going back again to North Dakota to stand with the folks out there. Folks are doing things in our denomination to try to make a difference, not only in their own home communities as we do, as like Rebecca's Cafe and other ways, but with the world. So I want to try to live my thanks for Unitarian Universalism. I'm a UU evangelist, but that doesn't mean I'm I proselytize and tell somebody that they're very happy in the Catholic Church or somewhere else that, oh, you don't need to be that, you need to come over here and be one of us. No, they're very happy and it's working for them. Good for you. But for folks, there are many folks out there that are unchurched and do not even know about us. There are folks that would thrive here and would appreciate it like many of us do. I think we have to let folks know more. So that's another thing I hope to do as I go forward, is to live my thanks by not keeping it for myself. You know, this is my little sanctuary, but sharing with others that we have something good here. So now, it's time for you to open your hand back up. Open your paper back up and look. And remember what you wrote on there with invisible ink, maybe? Look and see. And so I want you to be thinking about, as we do the offertory in a minute, how you are living your thanks, or what you could do to live your thanks a little better for these things that you're so thankful for. Because we do get Thanksgiving blessings. Thanksgiving blessings. Sing after me. Oh, we give thanks.
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day.
For this precious day.
For those gathered here.
For those gathered here.
And those far away.
And those far away.
For this time we share.
For this time we share.
With love and care.
With love and care.
Oh, we give thanks.
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day.
For this precious day.
Amen. And blessed be